and freeze, always at the same spot every week. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Happy beer time to you. That's what time it is over here. Cheers, everyone. It's Friday. It's rolled around again. And I'm wearing my Fatcaster's uniform, as you can see. Yes. Had a grocery delivery today, and I was wearing this T-shirt, and the van driver was spent more time looking at my T-shirt than he did telling me about the substitutions. One of the substitutions I am quite happy about because, got the beer delivered on the grocery order, and, we had to substitute it. I'm sorry, they substituted my regular Heineken with pint cans. Yes, indeed. You can do that anytime you want, lads. Anyway, how is everyone? Hope you're all doing splendidly well. A couple of things I want to talk about this evening. I have a little list here. Of course, we'll be looking at some of the guitar pictures that have been sent in by you good chaps since we last looked at some of your guitars. And don't forget, if you have any guitar pictures that you are particularly proud of, then let me know. And just remembered something else I need to talk about. I'm just making a note of that. So send me your pictures of your guitars or your rig or your pedal board, just whatever you use as a guitar player. Send them to jrguitartuition@gmail.com. Send me the pictures, and they might end up. Well, they will end up on the live stream. And there's the parts casters thing I want to talk about as well. I'm looking for suggestions for that, but we'll come to that later. Anyway, let's go through the usual custom and practice of seeing who was first in, and it was Timbo this week. Crap weather in Penwortham. Is it Penwortham or Penwortham? I'm not sure how it's pronounced, mate, but it's the weather isn't too clever there. You're first in. Oh, Tom Clark, you're making me blush. John's Patreon material is the best out there. Nothing comes close. Well, thank you so much for saying so. Then we got Paul Trainer, and then we got Relaxing Meditation going down there. Fiend Tunes is in, and so is PFY Guitars. Dave Fiendish is there, so is Ben Allmark, Dr. Gomez 1, Steve Entwistle, and we've got Terry Day, Robster Boy, how are you, Robert? And Peter Nicholson, Rent to Kill. Ian Clark is in, so is Sean House, Dave Lewis, and Peter Collins. Then we've got Rubbish Guitar Bloke. I can sympathise with you there, mate. Hi, everyone. Got the heating on and wrestling with Bo Diddley. Looking forward to a beer later. It's June and we've had the heating on in the house today. It's June. It's summer. And we've had to have the heat on. Yeah, there you go. So it says everything, doesn't it? Then there's Cylon Hybrid, Mark Colonel, Amadeus is in. So is Maria Muggs Davies and Malcolm Thompson. There's Grandpa Joe. And it's a beautiful day on Staten Island. Wishing everyone a safe weekend. Let's give thanks to the greatest generation for us being here today. Yes, indeed. I'll just invite everyone. We're a day late, but it was the anniversary of D-Day yesterday. So if you are so inclined, please raise your glass in salute to those brave men. That it was wasn't it the biggest or the largest amphibious assault ever conducted in history, and my granddad was part of it, and here's to them. Cheers, everyone. Anyway, who else have we got? We've got David James, John Mack, Frank Bolam, Ian Mason. There's Anton. Joe McMurray is in. So is Stephen Hedger. Stephen's got a new guitar. New guitar day yesterday. Picked up a really nice Bernie Lemon Drop Les Paul with a set of Tone Rider Rebel P90s. Been in pinched harmonic heaven, jamming along to ZZ Top. I imagine you are, mate. I've never played a Bernie. Never played a Bernie or a Greco guitar or any of those other. I think I played an Ibanez lawsuit guitar many, many years ago. But never played a Bernie or a Greco, which is, I might have to do something about that. Then, then who else we got? We've got Stuart Young, we've got Johnny Random, and Mark Gowans, and Luke's is in, so is Jeff Rock, and Nathan is there, Malcolm Spillett, Jimmy James, Savvy is in, Ian Rouse, and who else we got? We got Farjon, we got Michael Purcell, we got David Evans, we got Calby in the Rocco Cat, Gary Shaw is in, Peter Shields is there, so is Thomas Mulvaney. Good evening, Fatacaster crew. Rexamatic is there. Good morning, John. I might send you a few more tracks from the live gig recording. Do that, mate. I haven't had a chance to listen to the ones you sent me already, but they're on my to-do list, mate. Just so busy, so ridiculously busy. Then who else we got? We've got Johnny D, we've got Steve Sprosen, and we've got Dan Bernstein, I beg your pardon. I'm breaking these teeth in for the dog. Blue Sofa Songs, Mott the Hoople is in, Tom Clark, and Deco Dude, and anyone else? We've got Peter S, we've got John Dixon, we've got the Essex Cat, we've got David Collins, and Paul Trainer. You generous soul, sir. Thank you very much. That will go in the beer fund, I promise. It'll go to good use. Then who else have we got? We've got Colin Falcon. We've got Mr. Chris 5254. It was another one that's a new guitar day. You sent me some pictures of that, mate. Lovely looking thing. A Framus Diablo. Great spec, a bit like a Player Strat and a Silver Sky. Yeah, it is a bit, but it is its own thing as well, isn't it? On that topic, I often think Strat-style guitars with three-a-side headstocks just look somehow wrong, but certain guitars, including that Framus that you sent me the pictures of, it works, mate. It works. Then who else we got? We got Guitar Man, we got Jed Ellis, we got Dudley Scott, we got Stratboy 999, Chris Smith, Zen234, Brad Dowell is in, and so is Rob Garlicky. I'm 2 pints ahead, started early after work, drinks in the sunshine in sunny Bristol. Hope all is well with you all. Well, it's the weekend, mate. Steve Cassidy guitar. I watched you all live today, mate. And thank you for the shout out as well. Much appreciated. I know you were a bit apprehensive because you were tackling the Tonewood debate, weren't you? And I think you handled it really rather well. Don't forget Steve's video, his premiere tonight, going out straight after this video. So I'll kind of try and end it punctually so you don't miss Steve's video, because if it's a premiere, you can live chat along with him. I believe it's some gig footage, isn't it, Steve, or a gig vlog? I shall be looking forward to seeing that myself. Then who else we got? We've got John Channing, we've got Graham Reeves, Stephen Ellis, guitar bass dude, and Scrolling Down. Somebody said they were going to change their name to Scrolling Down, so they're going to mention every week. We'll do that. What are you saying there, mate? I currently have a Marshall DSL-1 and a board of Boss pedals and like the sounds, but the Spark amps kind of caught my interest. What is your opinion on them versus your current setup? Yeah, I had a Spark and it was intoxicating, and it was fun to play around with all of the bits and pieces in the app and swap things up. But ultimately, it's the sounds were okay, but I promise you, they aren't as good as your Marshall. They just aren't. Well, I didn't think they were. That the Marshall DSL-1, my old one died, and I turned it on again the other day, and it's kind of back to life. So I might just start kind of throwing that into the mix a little bit more. I'll have to dig out the mic and get it mic'd up and everything. But yes, the Marshall for me, you know, it's what I was talking about in that video yesterday about the Tonex pedal. Let me know if you think the same as me on this. You know, you get something that does like an infinite number of sounds, or seemingly infinite, different kind of tones that you can get out of it. You're probably going to use 2 or 3. So you're paying for something where you're probably going to use, 2% of the square footage of the real estate that it gives you. And that sort of just, I don't know, sublime. I've been thinking about it since I made that video, and I think that's another one of my main objections to it. You're paying for a lot of stuff that you're not going to be using. I'd rather, because all I ever do is any kind of modelling thing or anything like that. It's like, how do I make this sound like a Marshall? Like, dial it in, tape it down, forget it. and then that's it. But yeah, run by, stick with your Marshall, mate. That would be my advice. Then who else we got? We've got Johnny D, did I say you already? Stevie Mack, Ravensmead, we've got Gel Hinks, we've got Jay Aoyong, we've got Paul King, we've got Mark Grant, we've got Relaxing Meditation. I said you already, didn't I? I need to get more through this roll call a bit quicker. Anyone else? Starlancer, Cal Texper, and anyone else? Amadeus is there, but I said you already. Budget Pedal Chap, nice to see you, mate. We've got Hannes in, and Carl Tom, nice to see you, mate. I'm Not Creative, and I believe that is everyone. If I've missed you out, I do apologise. Oh, on road again. You're asking me a question there, mate. Let's put this up on screen. John, how much does buying new gear keep you motivated to play? I haven't bought a new guitar in 1 year after buying and selling a lot over lockdown because the market's on its arse, but not playing much. Yeah, it depends. Some of the stuff that I buy purely to kind of I have this kind of categories that I call livestock and family pets, and some of the guitars that come in here are just livestock. I buy them at a decent price. I can earn some money from making YouTube videos about them, sell them on, and hopefully show a profit. I don't really get excited about those guitars. Occasionally I do. Let me show you a livestock guitar that became a family pet. This one, pretty much my number one guitar now. Jet JT 350. Mind you, it needs this one's going nowhere because I've thrown a load of money into it, as you know, with the mods that I've had done to it and fretwork and stuff. But occasionally your guitar will surprise me and become, and switch categories. I'm thinking, right, I'm just going to kind of keep this. The one that I was, probably the guitar that I was most excited to buy recently was this one. And ironically, this PRS, you know me, I have this thing about Strats. I have a love-hate relationship with Strats. I love listening to Jimi Hendrix, to Mark Knopfler, to Stevie Ray Vaughan, to, all of these great Strat players, Hank Marvin. But yet when I pick up a Strat, and I always feel like I'm trying to do an impersonation of those players, because you put it on the in-between positions and inevitably you end, I do anyway, start playing Sultans of Swing licks and stuff. But this guitar here, this does the Strat thing, but it doesn't dominate the kind of sound of the guitar. It's there if I want it, but it's just a great sort of workhorse humbucker guitar. This was the one that really excited me to buy, despite, as I often call them, the racing pigeons on the neck. That's the only thing I would kind of prefer that it had different. I would prefer dot inlays, but you make compromises sometimes, don't you? But that was the last guitar that I really, really got excited about buying. If it's just a livestock guitar, it doesn't tend to. It's more just a transactional thing. Johnny Random saying, not seen the Faisley telly for a while. No, I haven't been playing it actually, have I? Yes, I've got a few videos coming up, and we're going to talk about one of them in a moment when I'm talking about the videos that are coming up in the coming week. But there are a few guitars in here that, because I've got a lot of throughput of guitars coming in and going, and suddenly there's a new toy that's the shiny new thing, and you kind of get, kind of intoxicated with that for a while, and that becomes like your main thing, and then you forget about that you've got like this one over here that you haven't played in a while. So yeah, the Faisley Telecaster is definitely part of that category. So I'm going to be doing a series of videos. Well, an informal series of videos, just when I need a video to put out for the Sunday Jam kind of set, video part of the slot. That's what I'm trying to say. Where I'm kind of going back to some of the guitars that I haven't played in a while, and that you haven't seen me play in a while. The one that's coming up on Sunday is a guitar that I play all the time. You just don't see me playing it because it's what I use it for. Primarily is it's a great rock rhythm guitar sound, and so you hear it a lot, but you haven't seen me kind of play it a lot. So that leads us neatly on to the topic of what's coming up on the channel this week. Sunday's video is a video about that guitar you can see in the corner, that black one over there. That is a Harley Benton CST 24P90. A lovely guitar that was a very generous gift from a very dear friend, a chap called Michael, who, those of you who came to the first event that has become known as Red Carmageddon, back in, when was that? Was that 2021 or 22? Can't remember. That whole period is just kind of, it's you lose track of your timelines. But we've had meetups a couple of times, and Michael was on one of those, and he gave me that guitar as a birthday present, and it's a treasured possession. I can honestly say that. It's Michael is a good guy, and I was really touched that he gave me that guitar. And you're going to be seeing me giving it a little bit more of a once-over, a bit more limelight on Sunday. Then on Monday, we've got a Kenny Wayne Shepherd solo. This is one that I tabbed out in a lesson for a student, and I thought, you know what? I'll do this a full-on breakdown of this for YouTube. So from the Trouble Is album, which is my favourite Kenny Wayne Shepherd album, it's a song called Blue on Black. We're going to be looking at the solo from that. Then on Tuesday, perhaps a little bit embarrassing, I'm going to be talking about soloing fails. I'm not talking here about, some big celebrity, big name guitar player who, kind of tripped over their fingers at a crucial moment in a solo. I'm talking about my soloing fails. I like to, when I'm kind of, perhaps it's the self-deprecating British humour that I like to, be a little bit. I like to point out my own shortcomings. Essentially, what we're looking at there are a number of solos that I thought, for whatever reason, over the years, I've had to have a go at learning, and a certain number of them, a small proportion, it has to be said, have defeated me. Well, I'm going to tell you what the 5 solos that have absolutely kicked me up the arse are going to be on, on Tuesday. That is the top 5 Tuesday video. Then Wednesday, one of the we're bringing the viewers' question videos to a close. That's one of the announcements I needed to make. There's a few in the can that need to be uploaded yet, but we're kind of on the wind down from that now, because it's beginning to get a little bit repetitive from time to time, I think. But I think it was Dave Snack Stevens who's in the chat here. I think it was you, mate, wasn't it, who asked me when we were talking a couple of weeks ago about, I was explaining some kind of theory stuff or whatever, and he says, how do you remember all of this? How do you make sense of it all? Well, on Wednesday, I'm going to tell you. It's a music theory video. It's going to get the square root of bugger all views. I know that, but, we shall press on regardless. Then on Thursday, we're going to be talking about strings. Different types of strings, coated strings versus non-coated strings. Are coated strings worth the extra? Well, I have a very, very definite view on that, and you're going to be hearing what that view is on Thursday, and then we're back to Friday again, and we're on the beer, which is what I'm just going to do now. Right. Excuse me, I just need a little bit of. I need to wake my lungs up as well. Oh, there we go. So let's see what I've been missing in the chat while I've been blethering. Rob Garlicky, any guitars you regret selling on? My first ever Gordon Smith, I sold it to buy a PRS, and yeah, I never really bonded with that first PRS. What you're saying, J.L. Young? The new for 2024 PRS S2 standard is the guitar I'm excited about. You will love that, mate. Those PRS S2 guitars, I loved mine. It was just the fact that I couldn't get on with the neck profile after my injury. What are you saying there, mate? I tried the audio interface with ML SoundLab amp sims and just couldn't get into being in tech hella. Every time I wanted to jam with a feel that was of a that was off versus a real amp. Spark basically the same. Yes, mate. Yeah, the sounds are pretty good, but it's I don't know. I just never got on with the Spark. I tried, but it just never really. I never really gelled with it. I wanted to love it, and I made a good effort to love it, and I probably even said that I did. As a way of kind of displacing, but I ended up selling it. James Hunt, what are you saying there, mate? I have a £40 Tom and credit to use. Looking at the CST 24 PRS copies. What's the preference, trem or no trem? Not really a trem user, but they look a bit strange without. Well, I'm not really a trem user, but I mean the wrap over bridge on the one that I had was this is like 5-6 years ago when I had mine. It looked like a Wilkinson bridge, but it wasn't a Wilkinson bridge because I ended up replacing the bridge with a Wilkinson one, and there was some difference there. I generally, if it's going to come down to looks, and there's nothing else dividing you, then go with the one that looks best. They're both, equally good. The trem is probably not going to be, in terms of tuning stability, as good as a real PRS, but it depends how much you're going to use it, really. So if it's just going to come down to all of the things being equal, just buy the one that. Excuse me, I'm just dealing with. There we go. I've got an antivirus message there that I just needed to action. If it's going to come down to just which one you prefer the looks of, then just do that, basically. Hannes, what you're saying there, mate? What's your opinion on a Jazzmaster? Jazzmasters are my kryptonite, mate. I've never been able to get on with them. Just Fender offsets in general. I'm not really. They're not on my. They're not on my wish list, shall we say? Excuse me, I need another beer. I've just realised I want a beer. This might get a bit flaky. David Evans is saying, John, you see my earlier message, mate. Can't be bothered typing it again. I didn't see it, mate. I was talking at the time. As I said, I'm not Rick, as I often say, I'm not Rick Beato. I don't have a whole army of Santa's little helpers keeping an eye on the chat. So I'll scroll up in a minute, mate, and have a look and see what you were saying. Just let me pour some Johnny Petrol. There we go. That's not bad. It's not bad, is it? Not a bad pour. And then with a pint can, you always get the little Brucey bonus, don't you? There we go. Strange how a pint can never fits into a pint glass, isn't it? So, David Evans, let's have a look, see what you were talking about, mate. Scrolling up. Where is it? John Marshall have a new CEO. I have a Marshall TSL 60 on a 1968 cab, which is great. My late dad had a code. I have to say, one of the worst models ever. Henning's vid on Marshall is good. Well, fair enough, mate. Yeah, I saw that video. Yeah, Marshall are going through some turbulent times, aren't they? It's the thing is, though. I mean, I love Marshall, the sound of Marshalls. There are certain amps that you just kind of connect with, and some you don't. And I'm probably going to get shouted at here, because this is sacrilege. I've never really got on with Fender Tweed amps. I don't like the way they break up and and kind of go into distortion. I don't. Well, no. Let me rephrase that. It's that Strat thing all over again. I like listening to Strat players, but I don't like playing. I don't like the way I sound when I play a Strat. You know, other guitar players get great sounds out of a Fender Tweed amp of some description, Bassman, whatever. I've never ever had a sound that I've been happy with for myself out of a Fender Tweed amp. Likewise, Vox AC30s, sacrilege. You're not allowed to say anything about anything negative about Vox AC30s. I love Rory Gallagher's tone. I love Brian May's tone. I love just, all of the great guitar players who use Vox AC30s. But when I plug into one, it always just seems to sound boxy and kind of nasal in some sort of way. Marshalls are the amps that make me sound like I want to sound. But they come with a depressing problem, which is that you can't really use the word Marshall and the word reliable in the same sentence without the word not in front of the word reliable. The number of Marshall amps I've had over the years that just were perpetually dying and going wrong and buzzing and crackling. And, I jinxed it. I've got if I point the camera over there, you can see the DSL-1 in the corner there. I used that amp. I was absolutely over the moon with it. Used it for over a year, and it was just rock solid. It was fine. It was nothing. I used to switch it on first thing on the morning when I come in here to start working. It would be on all day and switch it off, because that's what wears valves out, kind of continually being switched on and switched off. So you leave it switched on all the time. And it was great. And then I was just in here. I was in here actually editing a video. The amp was switched on, and suddenly it just started emitting this kind of like really loud mains hum buzz, and nothing would would kind of cure it. So that's when I went over to the Blue Guitar Amp 1, and I'm really happy that I did, because that amp sounds more like a Marshall than a Marshall, and it's just absolutely bulletproof reliability. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. But I might, as I say, I turned that on the other day just out of curiosity, and it didn't misbehave. So I might just throw it into the mix again. That'd be a good video, wouldn't it? The Blue Guitar Amp 1 versus the Marshall. That would be a good comparison. Watch this space for that. So anyway, where's my pint? There it is. We're reaching about the halfway point in the stream, so I think it's about this sort of time when we need to start taking a look at some guitar pictures. Shall we have a look? Let me go to here, and there we go. So straight out the traps, we've got some pictures of some lovely Sire guitars sent in. Very, very arty sort of shot, that, Dave Lewis. These are your Sire guitars. I wouldn't have known, because I can't. Well, I probably would, because I can probably tell. I'm enough of a guitar geek that I can tell from the look of the neck and everything. But we've got a T7 here. We've got an S7 here. And is that the S7 traditional or whatever, or vintage or whatever? But the 3 single coil version, and then the HSS version back here. Lovely looking bunch of guitars. I gather you're into white guitars, mate. Then from Dave Phillips, we have a trio of single cuts, and this one you may remember seeing on the channel recently. Well, not that recently. It was last year sometime, wasn't it? Or was it this year? Anyway, a few months ago. We'll go with that. This is the Artist AP59, which I reviewed. It was a lovely single cut, a lovely guitar. It just had some intonation issues and some problems with the locking tuners. Then what's this one here? A Westfield, there we go. Bolt-on Les Paul copy, which, Bolt on Les Paul copy. That kind of conjures up all sorts of memories of nasty 70s Les Paul copies, but not this one, apparently, according to Dave. That's a really nice guitar. Then a guitar that I didn't have this actual one, but I had one of these, the Epiphone inspired by Gibson Les Paul Custom. That was a close run thing. I was talking about livestock and family pet guitars. This one was a livestock guitar, but it was a close run thing. If I hadn't had maybe a gas bill to pay or something, I probably wouldn't have sold that one on. Absolutely gorgeous guitar. Then we have some more guitars from Dave Phillips. A Jet JT300. There it is. I mean, if you've never played Jet guitars, then I urge you try one out. The neck profile, they look like just, any other kind of guitar in that price bracket, perhaps, a little bit cheaper with a bit more spec than you would expect for the price point. But pick one up and try one. I promise you, the neck profile on Jet guitars it's like a boutique guitar for kind of silly low prices. A Harley Benton TE62 and another Harley Benton TE62 with a double white binding, and yes. Or any one of those, I would happily, take out and play. And I'm a Telecaster bloke, really, aren't I? Anyway, let's see what's next. More Telecasters, some parts casters from Derek Clacton. Which reminds me, I need to talk about parts casters in a moment, don't I? This one, the one on the right for me, that is, that I can't think of a better looking guitar than that. I really can't. That just looks the epitome of a classy looking guitar. And I notice you've got Fender decals on them there, Derek. That looks like you could pass that off as a high-end custom shop guitar any day of the week. I don't normally like Telecasters without a pick guard, but there it just works. That finish is just absolutely to die for. Then we've got some Telecasters from Gel Hinks. What we got? We've got a Highway 1 Tele, and this one is 85-ish. Your timeline's a little bit hazy there, mate. Made in Japan. Again, you can't go wrong with a Telecaster, can you? Then Rubbish Guitar Bloke sent me this earlier. A Dream pedal, when I was talking about pedal boards. So you can... a Tonewood modeler. I like the idea of this. And this one here, where you can kind of change pickups. Now, if I'm not mistaken, there was actually a pedal that claimed to be able to do this. It's got to be 2-3 years ago or more. I remember, who's that left-handed Aussie guy? Shane in the Blues. I remember seeing him doing a demo on this, and it wasn't April the 1st or anything like that, but it was like a pickup modeler. So I'd be interested to know if anybody else remembers those, or because it's like those Washburn Tonewood guitars from last week. Am I the only person that remembers that or not? Then we've got Stephen Hedges home rig, and what we got here is a 92 made in Japan 60s reissue Strat going into his home rig. The board has a hidden power brick, a Crybaby wah, Dunlop Octavio, New X Horseman boost, Univibe clone, and a mini tuner. The board goes into a Blackstar Amped 2 switchable 100-watt amp in stomp box format. The amp has built-in delay and modulation, drive and boost for reverb. I mean, that, for a home rig, that is something that you could easily go out and gig with. And then you sent me your live rig as well. So what we got here? Hand-built Fender Bassman combo clone. It was made for me by a very dear friend. We named it the Sound Engine, and it's 50 watts of pure heaven. Best clean amp and pedal platform I've ever played through. The board is powered by a K-Line power brick and has Crybaby wah, Spark Drive boost, Blackstar Dist X distortion, and New X ID core, Boss chorus, Boss DD6 delay, and a TC Electronics Hall of Fame reverb and a Boss tuner. Again, what can I tell you? That's the sort of nice, sort of simple kind of rig that I was talking about in yesterday's video, where I'm, do you really need that many sounds? You just have one good sound and sculpt it. Then Timbo, ever consistent Timbo. Yes, I think we can all gather what kind of music Timbo likes to play. All of the BC Riches and pointy guitars that he sent us pictures of. This is Timbo's Epiphone Explorer. Yeah, I don't think Timbo plays in a country band. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, we've got Timbo's home board, which is again Timbo. Mate, let's look at your pedals here. What we got? We've got that's a tuner, presumably a tube screamer, an overdrive pedal, an EQ, a chorus, and a noise gate. Again, very practical. And his home rig goes into a Marshall JCM 800 with a 4x12 1960 cab. That's your home rig, mate. You're not using a Black Star Fly 3 or a Katana Air or something like that. Yeah, you're using a Marshall JCM 800 as your home rig. Your neighbours must be tolerant, mate. That's all I can say. Then Timbo's live board. What's this going to? Running into an orange CR120 and a Harley Benton 2B12 vintage 30 cab. So what we've got here, we've got tuner, tube screamer, rat, another drive pedal, and another drive pedal, a mid boost, Donnet effects, and a noise gate. Yeah, you're going to need the noise gate with that many drive pedals, mate. Yeah, as I say, Timbo doesn't play jazz. Timbo doesn't play country or bluegrass. I think we know what kind of music Timbo plays. And then Wilson Jones. Let's have a look at his lovely collection that he sent over. Some basses there. I don't know enough about basses to kind of make any kind of intelligent or informed comments on them. But we can tell what year they're from. 62, 1962 recreation from 82, and so on. What are these Fenders? Squires by the looks of it. And then next row, that's a nice looking Telecaster. Then again, so is that one. That's a nice looking Telecaster. Oh, and Telecasters are just all nice looking, aren't they? You appear to have three pretty identical guitars here, mate. Then a Paisley Telecaster. Again, another guitar I've never actually played. And I think that brings us to the end of the show and tell for this evening. Thank you, everyone, for sending in the pictures of your lovely guitars. If you want to send me some pictures of your guitars, then, as I say, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. Send your, I want to say your entries there, but you just send your pictures in for the gallery. Yeah, you have to be from Britain and of a certain age to know that neat piece of music. Anyway, excuse me, more beer. Right, now, parts casters. Said I was looking for suggestions. I am going to be doing a top 5 Tuesday at some point this summer. I'm being a bit hazy on the date because I want some more pictures of parts casters. Basically, we're going to have basically a parts caster beauty pageant. And being the impartial judge with the final say, I'll be picking a winner. It'll be like, I'll narrow it down to 5 and we'll do a top 5 Tuesday on those 5 guitars. But I want to give some kind of prize away to the winner. And I'll pick my favourite of those 5, and that person will win the best in breed for parts casters. But I want to give some kind of prize, and it's like that's where I'm stuck. So suggestions, please, for a prize, a giveaway of some kind. I would like to be able to say, well, it's I could give away a guitar, but it gets really, really ridiculously expensive if I've got to ship it internationally, and that means that it can only ever really be a UK contest. but I might be able to give away a pedal. I could probably ship that internationally. So just let me know what your thoughts are. What you think would be an appropriate prize for the winning parts caster. Steve Cassidy saying, "What's the chance of a Jazzmaster parts caster making to the top 5? Asking for a friend." I will try and be impartial, mate. I'll try and be impartial. I'll tell you what, mate. Make it a Jazzmaster with gold-plated everything, a Floyd Rose, and PRS racing pigeons going up the neck. That'll get you in with a good chance, wouldn't it? Ian Clark saying, "How about a VIP visit to Robson Towers?" Well, if you're willing to travel, but I can't see many people from from like Grandpa Joe. He's not going to get on a plane from Staten Island to come and have a Parmo in Redcar with me. Parmo, that's another Teesside thing. But I don't know. I think thinking about it, it might be a pedal. I've got a few pedals here that are surplus to requirements, and I might just make that the prize, because that's you can ship that anywhere in the world without it costing too much, can't you? So yeah. A Toman voucher as a prize. Now that's one there. Yeah. So okay. Toman voucher. Could do that. Squeaky chair, it's a squeaky chair, mate. I know what you said. What the or is all about, and for those of you who joined us on the Red Carmageddon last October, you will know about the curry place in Redcar, Bengal Spice. So there's Bengal Spice getting delivered to Robson Towers later on this evening. So I won't need a squeaky chair to make those kind of noises, is what I'm saying. The Red Carmageddon thing, I put that out there a few weeks ago, because it had been suggested to me. This is where people come to Redcar, and we go out for many, many, many beers, talk absolute rubbish to each other for a few hours, the progressively drunker we get, and then we go for a curry. It's great. There is some kind of rumblings about wanting another one this year. So I'm just going to say that if you want me to kind of make that happen, which is basically all I've got to do, is kind of say, okay, we'll meet up at this pub and then we'll go for a curry and I'll book the table. If you want me to make that happen, then mither me about it. I don't want to be the instigator of this, because I don't want to be, it's like, hey, everybody, come and travel hundreds of miles to come and have a beer with little old me. I don't feel comfortable doing that. But if you want to do it, if we're going to make this happen, I don't want to be kind of like the big I am, and everybody's got to travel and book accommodation and what have you. But we can make it happen if enough people mither me about it. So I'll just leave that out there. Peter Shields is saying, "John, why don't you do a winner guitar raffle at, say, £5 a ticket? You have so many subscribers that could work and make a few quid for Zoe's place. Just a thought." Yeah, I've done raffle kind of things like that before, and I had some legal advice about that, and it is a very, very, it's gambling, and you need to have like some kind of one-off license or anything like that, where people are buying a ticket. It's a form of gambling, and gambling is licensed in this country, and I got some. I nearly got into trouble the last time I did it. Let's put it that way. So I'm loath to do that. It's the reason why on all of these phone-in questions, where it's you have to have some kind of element of skill involved. Then it's not gambling, you see. It's the reason why on these TV shows where there's a phone-in competition, it's like, the question will be, so what is the fourth letter of the alphabet? Is it answer 1, F? Is it answer 2, Z? Or is it answer 3, D? And if you put a question like that on it, then it is apparently a contest of skill and knowledge, and not a gambling thing. Red Carmageddon is basically a kin mental night out. Let's do it again. Okay, right. If you want to do it again, if you want Red Carmageddon to happen again, then I will forget what's gone on in the chat here. Email me, send me an email. The moment I get more than, let's say, 30 emails, because 30 emails will probably mean that about half of the people will actually be able to make it, and that's a decent night out. The moment I get more than 30 emails saying, yes, Red Carmageddon, I'm in, then I will set it up. Okay, so jrguitartuition@gmail.com, and send just put Red Carmageddon in the title. The moment I get more than 30, let's do it. Anyway, David Evans, what are you saying there, mate? John, do you remember the band Bread from years back in the 70s? Guitar Man and album. It was a great song, great riff. You should check them out. I remember Bread, David Gates. Yeah. And a bunch of hits, can't I? I can't remember any of the others off the top of my head, but Guitar Man is the one that springs to mind. Yes. Excuse me. I need more beer. Am I going to get through another pint can in the last? What, we've got 12 minutes of the show. I've got to try, haven't I? And let's see how flaky this pour comes out. Yeah, it's not bad, not bad. It could all go wrong though. Oh, it's getting a bit flaky. It's getting a bit flaky. There we go. Everybody, feel free to type the word flake in the chat. There we go. Calby. Starlance is saying, what's the band? They were called Bread, fronted by David Gates. Whatever happened to him? Is he still around? I don't know. Yeah, flake. Sweet Surrender was another one. Indeed, yes, it was. If, yes, and does anyone else remember that awful version of If a Picture Paints 1,000 Words? Remember that one? Yeah, if you thought that singing was bad, go and check out the Telly Savalas version of it. It was right at the height of his Kojak fame. And yeah, it's just embarrassing, It's like hey Telly, we need to get you in the pop charts, and and he just kind of he was trying to croon, but it was like and just kind of speak his way through it, but it was just so bad. There we go. Why does a pint can never fit into a pint glass? Johnny D, you've Googled it for us, mate. David Ashworth Gates is a retired American singer, songwriter, guitarist, musician, and producer, frontman and co-lead singer with Bread. Okay, so he's still around, he's just retired. Well, good for him. Leonard Nimoy and William Shatner did the same. I remember the Bilbo Baggins Leonard Nimoy single. Again, wasn't good, really, was it? Malcolm Spillett. Did you see Telly Savalas's promo video for the City of Birmingham? Yeah, I did actually. That was, again, clearly he'd just been given a script to read, and and then it was put to some footage that he'd never actually looked at. What are you saying there, Anton? Telly Savalas, who loves you, baby? Whoever advised him he could sing. How about William Shatner, Captain Kirk? He couldn't sing either. Yeah. I guess the most recent, and it's not even that recent now, was I sat through, and I'm ashamed to say this, I sat through the Mamma Mia movie. It was Jackie's choice. She'd chosen the DVD that night. I'd love to see Mamma Mia. Can we get that on DVD? And we did. Oh, dear me, yes. I mean, I don't care. I like ABBA, but it's enough to make... And I don't care admitting that, I mean, I like ABBA. I do the monthly Patreon podcast where I do a random shuffle at the beginning of the podcast. And one of these months, ABBA is going to crop up on that, because I just kind of shuffle all my songs, and then the first three that come up in random shuffle are the ones that first three songs played on the show. And one of these months, something by ABBA is going to come up, and I should be ashamed of that, but I'm not. I like ABBA. I think that Benny and Bjorn, you knew how to write a good song. But that film, oh dear me, yeah, that's a couple of hours of my life I'm never going to get back. And Pierce Brosnan, oh God, it's just like Pierce Brosnan singing in that. Stick to playing the kind of matinee idol leading man, Pierce. Just don't sing ever again. Thank you. Jay Aoyong is saying, yeah, Joe Satriani doesn't sing well either. Yeah, that Flying in a Blue Dream album where the record company said, yeah, we need some hit singles out of you, Joe. Surfing with the Alien, that was a big hit album, but that was probably a fluke. Yeah, we want to kind of maintain your career. Let's have some songs. And it didn't work out particularly well, did it? What are you saying there? Where's that gone? Amped Wales is saying, talking of ABBA, I got my hands on a nice Hagstrom the other day, the Volvo of the guitar world. Indeed, yes. I might be. There's a chance I might be able to get my hands on a Hagstrom to do a review. We shall see. Yeah, you see, Malcolm Spillett, Lee Marvin, I mean, the only song he ever did was Wandering Star from Paint Your Wagon. And that, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, was my dad's favourite song. Guitar Man saying Bob Dylan didn't sing particularly well either. This is true. Oh, gosh, ages ago, I did... it was one of the sort of proto top 5 Tuesday videos. I don't even know if it went out on a Tuesday, but a top 5 list video. And I was talking about my favourite cover versions. Maybe I should do that again. And, I was saying, can we agree that any cover version of a Bob Dylan song is inherently better than the original because it doesn't have Bob Dylan singing on it? Thomas Mulvaney, there are 186 of us holding our breath every time Mr. Robson pours a beer. Well, anyway, I've only got just over 5 minutes to get this down my neck. Hang on. Easy. Right. Steve Cassidy guitar saying, what are you saying, mate? Hit 196 likes. Well, thank you, mate. Clint Eastwood singing on Gran Torino soundtrack. Legendary actor, but please stop. Yeah, he sang on Paint Your Wagon, didn't he? I Talk to the Trees. Yes. Craig Watson. What about Captain Beaky hissing Sid by Keith Michelle? Oh, now there's a blast from the past. Captain Beaky and his band were the bravest animals in the land. Yes, indeed. I still remember the lyrics. When I talk about, we talk about guitars and music and whatever else crops up. Well, I think when we're talking about the Captain Beaky single by Keith Michelle from, 1980, I think we're very much into the territory of, and we talk about many other things as well. New comments. Let's click on that. Richard Harris, MacArthur Park. My Ding-a-Ling. Here's an interesting story, but I think it's fairly interesting. Chuck Berry's My Ding-a-Ling, right? That was banned by the BBC. That song was banned by the BBC in the UK when it came out. Why? Because of the sexual innuendo in the song. We can't be promoting that kind of filth to the nation's youth. And do you know what? At the same time, the very same week that song was banned by the BBC, do you know what Tony Blackburn's record of the week was on the BBC Radio 1 breakfast show? I'll tell you, it was Walk on the Wild Side by Lou Reed. Yeah. Okay, now there is a classic example of, something just going over the heads of the people concerned. David Evans bought the Frog Chorus back in the day. Yeah, that's not Paul McCartney's finest hour, is it, really? I see we're talking about just kind of ridiculous novelty records from the 70s here. Let's have a look. Clint is a good pianist, apparently. I didn't know that. I know he's into his music because he directed that Charlie Parker movie, didn't he? Bird. Chris Otterwell, I'm not putting that up on screen, mate. No chance. Yeah, Peter. Again, you raise an interesting point there about Jimmy Savile. Jimmy Savile banned it. My Ding-a-Ling. Yes, indeed. For those of an international persuasion who don't know who Jimmy Savile was a children's entertainer in the UK, and he died in 2011 or thereabouts. And after he died, it turned out he was. Yes, he was a rather unsavoury character. I don't want to get this video demonetised, so I can't. But just Google him, and when you see pictures of him, just ask yourself how come nobody knew at the time, because he does look like the absolute epitome of the kind of chap who might get up to that kind of shenanigans. Wills is saying my favourite record is Funky Moped by Jasper Carrot. Yes, there's a song that got into the top 40 purely on the strength of the B-side. Bridget the Midget, I remember that as well. Dave Lewis is saying, do a t-shirt giveaway, easy to do anywhere in the world with Teespring. Now there's an idea. So it's either going to be a t-shirt giveaway, a pedal, or a Tourman voucher. That's given me some ideas. Thanks, everyone. And the Partscasters Beauty Pageant will probably be coming up towards the back end of next month. I'll keep you posted. So, as I say, get your pictures of your guitars into me, jrguitartuition@gmail.com. Any guitar or rig or pedalboard that you are especially proud of. And if you want to enter the Partscaster Beauty Pageant, then just mark your subject line Partscaster, and it will go into that folder that I've got with all the Partscaster pictures in it. And that is where we're going to wrap it up for this evening, folks. I'm actually making it pretty close to the hour. Go and check out Steve Cassidy coming online around about now. Go and check out his premiere, and I'll love you and leave you. Thanks for everything, everyone. Time, gentlemen, please. See you next week.